Now, pundit and former Manchester United and England footballer Gary Neville has hit out following the terror attack in Manchester. He's received a lot of backlash for his diatribe about Britain's fastening St George's and Union Jack flags to lampposts. Let's have a listen.
All being turned on each other, and the division that's being created is absolutely disgusting. Mainly created by angry, middle-aged white men who know exactly what they're doing.
Yes, the very middle-aged white men who probably went and watched you play football. And every time you supported the England flag and the England outfit, and we've got plenty of images of him doing that. Well, joining me now is commentator and podcast host Sunil Sharma. Sunil, is this just a case of privileged white male talking absolute nonsense, denigrating others simply for being patriotic about their own country?
100%. You know, you said it there. Gary Neville, maybe he's forgotten his whole career has been built off middle-aged white men supporting him at Man United, supporting him for his country. That's how he made his millions. Maybe he's forgotten with all his new ventures he's doing now, but that's predominantly what put Gary Neville on this platform, and he seems to have completely forgotten that. He had no problem wearing the England shirt, waving the England flag when he represented England. Now he has a problem when other people do it. It is pure hypocrisy coming from him. And again, I don't think we should be surprised. This is a man in 2022, before the World Cup, had a lot of things to say about Qatar, heavily criticised the country, then decided to go to Qatar, take the millions from Qatar, and be a pundit during the World Cup. He has absolutely no morals or no understanding of what everyday people in Britain go through. He's so privileged and so out of touch with the realities of the United Kingdom that he thinks that he can somehow twist an attack that happened towards a Jewish synagogue and make it about white middle-aged men, make it about the Union Jack, make it about the St George's flag. It's crazy, and it's beyond belief that somehow he's been able to try and associate those two things, because it makes absolutely no sense.
Well, he seems to be conflating what I saw as an act of racist terrorism with people, white males, supporting, holding England flags and being patriotic. I'm not really sure how there's a connection. I'm with you on that. I just don't understand why these quite influential individuals who have literally made their success from being patriotic and being part of this country and representing this country actually then have the gall to denigrate anybody who dares do the same.
I think the problem with somebody like Gary Neville, maybe he doesn't watch GB News enough. You know, you look at yourself and me, we're not white middle-aged men, and, you know, we're both proudly patriotic of the United Kingdom. And I think he's so out of touch with the realities of the United Kingdom anymore, maybe because he's become so privileged that the circles he swims about, the circles he's now in, he's lost any sort of compassionate idea for what the average white working person goes through, just general people, white, not white or whatever, like working class people. I think he's so out of touch. It doesn't matter that maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, he maybe was working class. I think now he's so out of touch with it. He thinks that these are the issues, or he thinks these are serious issues. Maybe he should spend more time actually talking to the fans at Old Trafford, talking to his old, the supporters that go to games on a regular basis, actually talking to proper football fans. And I'm sure they will tell him what exactly they feel, because that's where he's made his money from. And I think he's very quickly alienating a lot of those people, and I think it's a real shame. This is somebody who was never necessarily the most talented footballer, but a lot of people appreciate him for the incredible hard work he did, his dedication to his country, to his flag, and I think he got a lot of respect for that throughout his career. But he seems to have forgotten all of that, and now he seems to want to tarnish his own name, tarnish his own image, which I think is really really depressing.
I think you also make a very good point that people who are patriotic aren't just white males. There are plenty. It means that in his mind he's thinking that the British or English person is white, whereas that's not quite true, is it? I mean, I'm British, I'm black, I would support the flag, I've got a Union Jack dress, I'm very proud, I was born in Newcastle, I'm a Geordie. Yes, my parents, I have African heritage, that's where my parents are from, but I am ultimately an alien in Ghana because I don't really know their ways, their customs, their traditions, but I'm proud that I had this as my heritage, but I'm British. I like my ketchup, my fish and chips. Do you know what I mean? I'm a true Brit, and I sport the flag. And I would have supported England at a World Cup any day of the week. Does that make me one of those white males that he's talking about?
100%, you know, like myself, I always watch football games. Okay, I don't support the same team as Gary Neville, but like, you know, I'm always watching England play, wear the England t-shirt. Is that now an issue? If I wear an England flag, am I the same as one of these white English males that he's associating with? And it's crazy that he even thinks like this. He played alongside many mixed race, many black players. His teammates were from all over the place, and for him to now sit there and make these comments, and what makes even worse is he would have played at Man United with so many international players who were, all of them would have been so patriotic about their specific countries, whether it's Argentina, Brazil, across Europe, and a lot of these football players are so patriotic about their country. You could argue for some of them they're even more patriotic for their home countries than they are for their club, and that's always a criticism sometimes we say to England players. And for him not to understand that the basic root of, if you are born in Britain, regardless of your skin color, you should be patriotic, you should care about your country, you should wave the flag, you know, you should be. I think that the issue maybe he's conflating is, I think when we talk about nationalism in the UK, it's always associated as a bad thing. We talk about World War II and all this sort of stuff, but everyone should be a bit nationalistic. You should be proud of your roots in your country. And I think Gary Neville's really missed a point there, because I'm sure if we asked Gary Neville 10, maybe a bit longer, 15 years ago, when he was playing for England, I'm sure he would be one of the first people saying he's so proud to be representing his country.
Oh, he wouldn't dare to say what he's saying now. So I think he needs to have a think about his words before he posts such nonsense. I'm not surprised that British people and people from this country are looking at him thinking, what are you on about, Gary? But anyway, he seems to be Gary Lineker 2.0. Thank you very much, Sunil Sharma. Really good to talk to you. That is Sunil Sharma. He's a commentator and podcast host. This is Good Afternoon Britain on GB News. Lots more coming up on today's show.